Hi, guys. Welcome to the first ever Lindhurst FFA podcast. I'm Elizabeth Silva, and today we are going to be talking about ag education overall. So, the three-ring model, SAE in the classroom, FFA. And for our first guest, I would like to welcome up Ella Tickerat.
Hello, I'm a freshman at Lindhurst FFA.
So, this is Ella, and getting to know Ella, she is one of our star, I would say, first year members. She's super involved. She's honestly super fun. And for a first year student at Lindhurst High School, it's kind of crazy for us to get freshmen super involved. So it's kind of cool to have Ella here.
Thank you.
Of course. So starting off, I would like to ask you, being at Lindhurst and Mr. Bisbee kind of throwing you in there, being like, you're going to do this. Were you scared? Like, were you like, what am I signing up for?
I was kind of scared because at my middle school, I grew up with all these kids, and a lot of them weren't going to the same school, and even less of them were in FFA. And so I was just kind of thrown into it, and I was kind of scared, but he was really inviting and welcoming. And so I was like, okay, we can just go with the flow. Mm-hmm. And then I met you, and I met Lana, and I met everybody. And then I just kind of felt more comfortable.
Mm-hmm. So for me, when I was first year, I joined as a sophomore. I was kind of scared of the people above me, the chapter officers at first. I was kind of like, oh my God, who are they? Or just the FFA community as a whole, it could be a little intimidating starting off. So during your first competition, how are you feeling?
I was kind of scared because my first competition was horse judging. And these advanced people came in with their blazers and their little notepads.
They're scary. I'm like,
I was like, oh. And they looked like they really knew what they were doing. And so my thing, I just kind of faked it till I made it.
Mm-hmm. Me too, girl.
And it turned out pretty good. We, the novice team, we did pretty good, and it was just fun to kind of see how it goes.
So I am not a horse judging girl. I've done it twice, but I'm not good at it. But what's another competition that you're kind of interested in getting into? Like speaking or LDCDs, which one?
I'm definitely wanting to try horse judging again. It just seems really interesting to me, and I would like to do that, or maybe venture off into other livestock judging, like sheep judging, goat judging. And for speaking competitions, I was really interested in doing the creed, but I know that's only for freshmen. But so I think it would be a good opportunity.
Yeah, totally. So being one of our top students, what is one event that you know of so far that you are so excited to go to?
I'm so excited to go to state this year. And hopefully when I'm a junior, I can go to nationals.
Of course. Yes. Oh my God. And you are going to be our delegate this year, which is super exciting. I'm going to be on the floor as well. So is Julia. And I think you guys are going to have so much fun. Yes. And I feel like it's kind of cool because you do miss out a little bit on what we do as a chapter. But you get to be down there with so many other students all over California, and I think that's super cool.
Yes.
And how are you feeling about running for officer up and coming?
So I was thinking about that. I was thinking I'll probably maybe just for a little chance throw in an application for a chapter officer just to kind of see how it goes. And maybe in the future, maybe sectional or regional. I know you're a regional officer.
Yes, but this year we were definitely trying to get way more students involved. And I think it's kind of awesome that you and another guest that we're going to have on kind of just jumped into it like cold feet. Because I know at our school, it's super hard to get members involved because we aren't super kind of ag dominant. So it's kind of cool for our students that are in the ag classes to be super involved. And with you guys this year, it was kind of awesome because you guys were all like, yes. So for your class, how was that? Like, did Mr. Bisbee scare you off, making you think you had to wear a blue jacket? Did he scare you off being like, yeah, tomorrow we're gonna dissect piggies, so how are you feeling? So how did that make you feel?
He was super energetic and was just like really outgoing. And he played music really loud the first day. And I have him first period. And so brand new to high school, first period, it just seemed like super fun. Like it kind of like calmed my nerves for the rest of the day. And he reminded us that we can be as involved as we wanted to. So like if you want to be in a blue jacket, you definitely can. But if you just want to like sit back in the classroom, you definitely can do that too. And it was just really interesting because he would just tell us about all these opportunities and all these like trips we could go on and different competitions or activities that we could do. And I found that really interesting.
Definitely. And speaking of how involved we are, I know you might be doing an animal for fair, which is exciting. It's going to be your first animal. What are you going to do?
I want to do a ewe lamb.
A ewe lamb. Okay. Sherry already has her breed and everything picked out. So, do you think it's going to be hard? Because I've raised lambs twice.
How is that going?
Lambs are the best and the worst animals in the world. They are so dumb, but they're definitely fun. But for you, are you scared at all? Are you nervous?
I'm a little nervous because I've never like done a big animal. At my house, I have a rabbit, and that's definitely a small animal. So I think it'll be really different. But I'm also just really excited to see how to do it and how fair life goes, because I know that's like a completely different thing.
Fair life is chaotic, to say the least. Fair life is like free for all. Everybody's on, like, not on their own, but you're definitely struggling. Yeah, and then like everyone's frustrated because it's so hot. Like last year, it was super hot, which was a lot.
California heat.
Yes, actually, like we were all surviving.
And in the blue jacket.
Yes, and when you're showing, even the judge last year, she was like, "You guys can take your jackets off," and I was like, oh.
Really?
And I'm in the ring, and I'm like well, the only one with a jacket on, and thinking I'm like so professional, and it's like, no, girl, get out of here, you lost. I was like, all right, But I think you're gonna do awesome at fair because you definitely are dedicated. I mean, like you do sports, you're super involved in FFA, like you're definitely up there, and I know you're on your school stuff, so you're definitely on it overall.
Thank you.
So for your friends, my freshman year and my sophomore year were not involved in FFA at all. They thought it was kind of weird. Definitely, because it wasn't as hyped up as what it is now. How did you deal with that? Because our school obviously is not, how I said, ag dominant. So them being like, you're in an FFA class, are you weird?
Yeah, it was kind of like, I didn't want to be like named as like a horse girl and just like only talk about FFA and stuff. And I've kind of caught myself doing that in like soccer practices.
Yes, I feel that.
But the girls, they were like really accepting of it, and they were like asking like me like how to join, and so it was cool because I kind of like shared it with them. And I hope next year maybe one of them tries it out.
Oh my god, I hope so too, because I want to see what you guys do in the future, especially if you do win officer. I think you're gonna do great, which I think is pretty awesome. Going into competition season, how was your first ever competition? Because competition season is coming up. So practices, we are on it right now. So what competition, or how is your competition practice? How was your first competition?
My first competition, it was the horse judging.
Right, here, let me reevaluate. How was your first speaking competition?
My first speaking competition was the opening and closing ceremony. And that was really nerve-wracking because you have to memorize it all. And honestly, that wasn't the hardest part for me. The hardest part was like being open and kind of like how I project the words that I was speaking and make them meaningful. Because you can just talk and talk and talk, but it's like how you show the words that like provides the meaning behind them. And so that was interesting, and it was really professional. Like we'd all walk in like single filed, and then I'll have to sit down on like the gavel taps. And so that was really, it was fun to learn though.
Definitely. I could say it's probably, I've done it twice. It's probably the scariest competition I did. I was like shaking in my boots because like you walk in, those judges are like just staring
Staring at
you
you.
there already. And then there's like one that's like smiling and you're just like, I'm going to look at you. You're the one you're with me. Okay. No, but how would you say for a student who's a little scared to be in an art class or to kind of participate in something if their friends aren't super involved? Because I know for me, I was like, what do you mean I have to give up my lunches to go practice with a bunch of people that I don't know and my friends are out at lunch? Like, I'm going to have FOMO. So like, how would you say for a student who wants to get involved but is a little scared, what advice would you give them?
I would say just do it, just try it out. Go to one, practice, and if you like it, go to the next. And don't worry because you'll be able to hang out with your friends other times over the weekend. You guys will find a way to like meet up with each other and stuff. So you guys will find some time to spend together. And going to the FFA practices, it was kind of strange at first because I didn't really know anybody there. But it's definitely helpful if you bring a friend. Like if you have one friend that is like kind of down for anything.
Yes, definitely.
Like the practices are kind of open to like for that friend to just come and like watch. So that's definitely a good option if you're kind of like worried to go there and not know anybody. I know I definitely had a friend that was like that, and I would tell her that, hey, like at lunch, I'm going to Mr. Bisbee's class to do a competition practice. And she was like, oh, cool, can I come? And I was like, yeah, of course. So that's a really good option too.
All right, well, awesome. Thank you so much, Ella, for being our first interviewer. I hope you had a great time. I had a great time. I hope people watching thought it was pretty fun. Even though it was a little nerve-wracking since it's our first one. But thank you so much. We will be right back to you guys after this break.
To continue following us on our journey, please be sure to visit the description box below to follow all of our social medias, including our Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
And if you guys would like to continue supporting our members, go ahead and click the description box down below to shop our apparel. Here we have our Lindhurst FFA hat, just a classic. Right here we have a t-shirt with our logo for this year with the emblem in the background saying Lindhurst FFA. We have our Lindhurst Ag Welding hat, as well as our theme for this year, which is Leave Your Legacy in a t-shirt. And this amazing crew neck here with the background of Leave Your Legacy.
Thank you for supporting Lindhurst FFA. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody, from our short break. I am Alana Whitlock. I am a student at Lindhurst FFA, and today I will be interviewing Miss Deasia Stevens.
Hi, I'm also a student at Lindhurst FFA.
So I'm going to start off with the basics. How old are you? What grade are you in?
I'm currently 14 years old, and I just started high school, so I'm a freshman.
Perfect. So that is what we call an FFA a green hand. And being a green hand, I know you have had so many brand new experiences. So I just want to know what brought those experiences to you. How did you hear about FFA, and what convinced you to actually join an ag class?
So I really love pets. I like being like around them. I just love like how they like, I don't know the word. I just love being around them. And then 8th grade, I heard that they were taking like offers of what classes you want to be in. So once I heard about FFA, I was like, oh, we get to be around animals. That's so cool. But then I didn't know that it was about like plant stuff too. So that's how I found out about FFA.
Nice. What middle school did you go to?
Arboga Elementary.
Shout out to our Arboga Elementary for introducing students to ag classes. We love when middle schools do that. So I heard that you really like pets, you really like animals. Are you interested in raising any animals this year for fair?
I wanted to, but I didn't have the time for it.
Okay. Totally get that. Happens to the best of us. What about plants? Are you interested in gardening, botany, floral?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. So I know that you are a big classroom gal. You love all of the classroom time within the three-ring model, which is SAE, FFA, and classroom. What have been your favorite in-classroom experiences this year in FFA?
When he when he's like teaching us things and he asks us like, does anybody want to volunteer for an example? And I'm like the quickest person to like raise my hand and like go up there and be an example while he pushes me around the classroom. And yeah, it's just a fun experience being around Mr. Bisbee in the classroom. He's very welcoming and stuff. So
Okay, well, I'm going to take it that you do like presenting then. Have you thought of doing any speaking competitions or even non-speaking competitions just where you can compete, you can interact with other people?
yeah, my one of my competitions were the opening and closing, and I actually liked it, memorizing all the lines surprisingly. And it was just a fun experience being around other FFA people from different high schools and getting to know them. And I actually knew some of them. So it was very welcoming. And then they got on the dance floor and then everybody just started dancing. We just took pictures of people. It was a fun experience.
Did you ever expect to like go to parties when you joined FFA?
No, I thought it was just, oh, you're going to raise an animal. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. I thought it was just that.
So much more you know now.
Yeah.
Huh? Have you thought about running for office at all?
No.
Really?
I wanted to do the delegate, but I had things to do.
I get that.
Yeah.
It is a huge chunk of your time, but it is very worth it. So with all of your classroom time, is there anything that you think you will use, like really actually use in your real personal life as you get older and go into looking for jobs and different careers?
Maybe if I wanted to like own a certain pet, I know like how to take care of it, what do I need to do, like what kind of sheep it is or what kind of cow it is, and things like that.
Are you interested into going into the agriculture field at all?
As teacher wise or
Anything?
not really. Oh, like I'm into medical
Okay. What about a vet or just people?
people, more like babies, infants.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that FFA offers you some of those leadership experiences too then. Have you thought about joining any LDEs?
Not currently, but maybe in the future, most likely, yes. I would like to.
I think it's going to be a great opportunity for you. That'll be super fun. What is something that you didn't expect when you first went into FFA that you have experienced now?
I didn't expect to do like all these competitions and stuff, like especially the speaking ones. I thought it'd be like, oh, you're gonna show this animal and you're gonna auction it to like these people or whatever. Not like speaking like the creed, the opening closing ceremonies, things like that. Or
That
like
makes
the BIG contest. Didn't think taking a test would be in FFA.
Well, that's something that's getting you prepared for a lot of upcoming stuff. Speaking of creed, have you looked into doing that as a freshman?
It was very interesting and I think I'd really like to.
I think you should. You know, Erica, she did it and she loves it. She used to present it at our banquets. So that was kind of her intro into the LDEs and the speaking world. And I know that's going to benefit her a lot when she goes into her life. And I think it will 100% benefit you, especially because I know you're soft-spoken. Everyone thinks you're shy. But when you open up and you use your voice and you talk, the attention is on you. You're able to grab that. I know that you said that you first heard about FFA through your middle school, which was Arboga. Have you always been local to this area?
No.
No.
I moved here about like 2022.
Okay.
I was in Georgia ever since COVID started. But before Georgia, I was in Sacramento.
Okay. Did you have any experience with FFA or just ag in general in Georgia? Like, is that a big ag community?
No, like the first time I heard about FFA was when the high schoolers brought it to the middle school. That's the first time I've ever heard of it.
Did they present you an arboga, or it was just the teachers talking about it?
It was just the teachers talking about it, and they gave us a paper to like mark it down, whatever we wanted and stuff.
Okay. Well, knowing that that interested you, do you think you would ever be interested in going to an elementary school or a middle school yourself and presenting about FFA and all the opportunities it gives?
Most definitely, yes. I would like to go back to my old school and like, yeah, you could do this cool activity class and stuff, and you'd learn about animals if you're really interested. You could come join us.
Yeah, and it gets them so much more interested when it's really coming from a student and not a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So that could become one of your SAEs, a proficiency. You could do public speaking. It would kind of be like media. I think that is something you should bring up, and you should bring that to our school. You'd be the first.
Yeah.
Have you thought about doing any other SAEs since you weren't really looking at livestock?
Other than going to like different schools and bringing students into FFA, not really.
No? Okay, I think that's a really good one. I think that would be something new to the whole area, is real ag students going to the middle schools, presenting themselves and giving their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
What's some of the things that you would say just for like any of the younger future FFA members watching? What would you tell them? And what do you think is really going to benefit them when they do join FFA?
I would tell them that FFA isn't just about animals. Mr. Bisbee teaches us about plants and things like that. And if once they join and they leave, leadership teaches you a lot of, FFA teaches you a lot of leadership skills and a lot of etiquette that you need to have. These speaking competitions, they really kind of helped my like shyness and stuff. And like speaking out in front of like a big group of people, it really helped me with that a little bit. And yeah.
That's nice. Well, you brought up speaking in front of people, which you're great. Would you ever think about coaching students, maybe as a junior or senior, coaching them for those speaking competitions, like the Create, if that's what you did, or even opening and closing, joining the advisors and teaching these kids the things that you already know?
Yeah, I probably would, because when I was like how I am right now, I'm a student, like I'm very like scared and nervous, and I really don't want to mess up. And I'll just tell the other people that I'm teaching that like, hey, it's okay if you mess up. It's all fun. It's for like enjoyment. It's for you. It's okay.
That's really great. So you kind of already did touch on this, but if you were trying to convince someone to do a speaking competition, what are some tips that you would tell them so that they knew that it's not all that nerve-wracking and it's actually quite easy and enjoyable when they're done?
Just go off as you rehearsed, and it's not like it's going to go in your grade or anything. It's just for you and to be like enjoyable, to have fun and be around your peers a lot. Yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Deasia. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you volunteering. As a freshman, this is one little step that's gonna take you really far in FFA. It's gonna make joining other projects and other group stuff super easy. And as you progress, you are gonna take this and you're gonna tell other students about it, and you're gonna get them prepared for doing all of these amazing once-in-a-lifetime opportunities for students. So I really appreciate you, and everybody will be back momentarily after another short break.
Hey, Deasia, what electives are you doing?
I plan on taking Spanish and culinary.
Are you really not going to take an ag class?
No. What's an ag class?
Well, Lindhurst offers 3 different ag classes: welding, animal science, and plant science. All 3 are very hands-on and make you a better leader in the classroom and in life.
I do like hands-on activities, so how do I join?
Well, let me let you in on a little secret. The spots for an ag class are filling up very, very fast. So I would email your counselor today to secure your spot in Lindhurst Ag.
That's a good idea. Let me text my counselor, Mr. Her, right now.
Join an ag class today.
Welcome back. My name is Deasia Stevens, and I'm here with Elizabeth Soba.
Hi, guys.
Today I will be interviewing her about all FFA. So, Elizabeth, what is your position that you hold in your chapter as well as region?
So in my chapter, I am the Lindhurst FFA president. I am a senior this year. And for my region, I was super lucky and I'm so grateful that I was able to win regional office. I am the Superior Region Secretary for the 2023, 2024 year, 2024, 2025 year. For Lyndhurst, it was a super great accomplishment for me to be able to win that. It was super scary. I mean, I talked in front of 200 people and I had no idea what they were going to ask me. And they voted for me just on that. And I was like, thanks, guys. Like, it honestly is such a amazing opportunity for me and for Lyndhurst to just be able to say they've had a sectional officer as well as a regional officer. It's been honestly an amazing year for us. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Did you ever think you would become president in regional?
I never saw myself, like, if you would have asked me freshman year me, I would have never said I was in FFA. Like, looking back at freshman year me versus me now, those are two completely different people. I would have never thought I actually got into it as much as I did and fell in love with it as much as I did. I mean, I'm going into an ag career now. If you would have asked me freshman year, I was going to be a lawyer. So it's completely different, I would say. And honestly, it's amazing. Like, I never saw myself being able to do any of this or being able to win anything. So it's pretty awesome.
That's cool. What is your advice for someone that is looking to be in your position as in for regionals?
I would say go into applying for regionals with no thoughts. Don't think of winning. Don't think of losing. Just think of why you're doing it. Is your heart in the right place? Are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it to serve others? Because once I really got into it and was talking with my advisor, he was like, if you aren't doing this to serve your members and to make a difference, whether it's chapter or regional level, you shouldn't be doing it. Because a lot of thing is when you hold such a amazing role and are just given a title that might be above someone else, you're not better than anyone. So definitely making sure people understand that they got a role to serve others, not to be better than them, which is something that I feel people can get a little kind of obsessed with the title instead of just being able to make a change and serve others. So I would definitely say keep your ego down. Don't think of winning or losing and make sure you're doing it to serve others and not for yourself.
Yeah, I definitely feel like since people like can be president, vice president, I feel like they'll brag like, yeah, I'm vice president. You're just a normal, boring student, things like that.
Yeah, and I feel like that always makes people feel bad too because, like you and Ella said, like going to competitions and seeing other people, like you feel kind of intimidated by them and like they don't talk to you or it's kind of like scary to like go up to them because they're like the winners or whatever. But I think you should go into it with kind of no thought, no expectation, and just not worry about title, role, winning or losing.
Yeah. What's one thing you wish to tell an upcoming person in a president position?
So students running for officer, I hope to tell them that no matter what school you're up against, no matter who you're up against, just remember you're doing it for yourself, but as well as your chapter. You want to make sure that you're doing it to improve Lyndhurst. We kind of do have a harsh stereotype about us, and people are definitely realizing that we do have amazing students in our program. Like, it's not just one or two. A lot of the students just need that extra push and effort to take them to where they are, for them to be able to see as much potential as they truly do have.
Most definitely, yeah.
And even with our sports, not just in FFA, to show that Lyndhurst is an amazing school and definitely have students be more involved and not think it's so embarrassing to be involved and definitely just have fun.
Yeah, like for me, once I like get to know more about like, let's say for this podcast, once I get to know more about it, like I'm going to become more natural and like free about it.
Definitely. And I feel like with everything, I mean, there's so many clubs out on campus where students are super involved, like not speaking about FFA and going into other clubs I've been in, Latino Heritage throws on a whole week of events where they have a mariachi band and they have all these other things.
Yeah.
And it's so fun. People are out there dancing with no cares in the world. And then being that one group of people who's just judging is never fun. Like, the people having fun in the middle of the circle are never going to look around and see who's not. So
Yeah.
it's great to go into something having fun and not looking around and seeing who's not having fun.
Talking about our school, since our school has like a certain stereotype over it, and our FFA is now up and coming, what's a challenge that you had to face being from an unknown person in school, especially in the FFA realm?
For me, definitely showing up to certain events or winning competitions against rival schools or whatever it might be. They definitely don't, or in the FFA realm, Lindhurst is not a big name as
Yeah.
other schools. I know when I see other schools, I'm like, oh my God, is that school? And it's because they have such a good kind of way of presenting themselves. They win everything, they do everything amazing.
Most definitely.
And with those schools, you never hear Lindhurst, which is
Yeah.
something that I hope in the next 2-3 years, maybe even this year, like we finish off and everybody knows who Lindhurst is. I really hope to be able to show everybody else that our students are amazing. And I know other schools and people I've worked with in the FFA realm have been like, you go to Lindhurst? And I'm like, yes, and I love it. I would never change it to go to any other school.
Yeah.
Even if there's more opportunities or whatever it might be. Lindhurst and the teachers and everybody, and especially the advisors, they do everything for their students. So being able to break down that stereotype for our school is definitely something that was awesome to me. So being able to say Lindhurst has had a section officer, Lindhurst has had a regional officer, Lindhurst has had so many other things is truly amazing because nobody would ever thought Lindhurst FFA was capable of that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of proving the odds wrong, which I think is super cool.
I feel like it was also cool when me and Ella, we did a BIG contest, and it was like only like 4 of us against like 100 students from each high school, and we got 4th overall, surprisingly. I'm like, oh wow, that is actually cool. Like our little school got placed in something.
Yeah, and I remember leaving that competition. That was like one of the first ones you guys did. You guys were kind of upset, like, oh, you guys didn't get higher. And I was like, you guys placed. Like, I never placed my first year of high school in anything. And just being able to, like, work on yourself and lose competitions that don't really, you know, matter too much because in the end you had fun. And that's what people need to remember is that you do it for fun. You don't do it for the award or anything.
Working with your regional partners, how did it make you did it make you into a new person, or did it change you in any type of way?
Working with the regional officer team, they're honestly amazing, and having so many different personalities and different ideas come to the table was awesome because I got to come back to my chapter and be able to work on things differently because when you're at such a high level, you don't argue at the table like you do with your chapter officers. Like, we will yell at each other all day, and it's no harm, no foul, but when you're at a higher level, it's kind of, you need to get this done, and if you don't get this done, then what are we going to give to our members? So being able to calm down, think of different ideas, and the whole team brought so many great ideas to the table. Like, I honestly thought I didn't fit in at first because they were, like, smart. Like, some of them were really brilliant, and I'm like, I remember, shout out Lily on the regional team. She's like one of the most amazing, sweet people you will ever like meet, and she's so wise and she's so young. And I remember like working with Lily, I'm like, you're so like, you're way above me, and that's just how I'm seeing it because I'm like, she's so awesome. So being able to like hear Lily talk and hear how she strategizes things, and as well as all the other members, I was able to kind of come back to our chapter and really think about it because I know at officer retreat we planned out our whole year for both. So for officer retreat, for regionals and chapter, we planned out our whole year, activities, everything. And when we did it at a chapter level, it was kind of awesome because I already knew how to break it down. Like, I got to experience it and then come back to the chapter with more structure, which I think is good, being organized, because building up the program from nothing to something was super hard. So it's awesome to be able to bring it back to a chapter level and really improve and get students involved, which is awesome.
Did you ever feel pressured when you became a regional officer?
Definitely not pressured, but I was scared that I wasn't as good as everyone else because when you get up at higher levels in FFA, it's like such a great achievement and an amazing opportunity, but definitely scared because the people around you are so amazing. Like they're all super smart, super intelligent, super wise.
Yeah.
So me feeling a little bit on the outside definitely scared me a little bit. Like I would go back to Bisbee and be like, I don't think I fit in there. But now I'm like totally in love with it. I'm so happy I got this opportunity. I cannot wait for Lindhurst to have more students to get the same opportunity as I did. And I
Has Bisbee helped you with like the regional positions, or was it all just like you telling yourself, "Hey, you got this. You can do it"?
It was definitely Mr. Bisbee as well as my teammates. I was completely clueless at the fact that I was slated, like it didn't hit me. And I remember I was so excited. I was I was literally in my cousin's room and I was like crying of how excited I was 'cause I was like, what the heck did I just win? And Mr. Bisbee definitely pushed me the practices. And let me just say, talking in front of someone who you find as your mentor and talking in front of a bunch of students you don't know is so much easier. Because talking in front of your peers is one thing. He would make me answer questions in front of all his classes last year. And like he would make me go there in between periods and go and answer questions in front of classes. And I was like, oh heck no. But then answering questions in front of Mr. Bisbee one-on-one was even scarier. Because it's like, he's so wise, he knows what he's doing. Like, he's going to give me pointers, and he's going to be like, that wasn't the best work, but here's how you fix it up. And then talking in front of those 200 kids that some of them I had no clue who they were, or like, they were just peers to me, it was a lot easier, I would say, than talking in front of Mr. Bisbee.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like you feel more scared to talk in front of someone you see as your mentor. But I would definitely say yes. And as well as my teammates, they definitely pushed me. They're still pushing me right now to apply for all these different things. And it's just amazing to have support.
So, since you're a senior now, what would you say to your freshman self?
I would definitely say get in an art class. First of all, I'm super sad that I didn't get to be in an art class my freshman year, but I did take Mariposa. So if you guys have Mariposa, take it. It's super fun.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say get involved. Don't be scared of what other people think, which is why it stopped me to join so many sports, different clubs, like not just FFA. I definitely say get involved because it truly is life-changing. It completely changed my perspective on my career, what I was going to do, how I talk to people, and it really helped me out in that aspect. So I would definitely say get involved. Don't care about what other people think. Do whatever you want, and just be smart with your money. She was working then, and she was spending it like nothing. So, yes.
Well, Elizabeth, thank you for letting me interview you today.
Of course. Thank you.
And we will be right back after this commercial break.
What is one thing you love about FFA?
I love the trips and the opportunities they give you.
One good thing about FFA is that you get to make new friends.
My favorite part of FFA is the thing I really like about an art class is I like how we're always hands-on. We use Betty, for example, or we use that cow sometimes.
Hello and welcome back after that break. Today I am here with Lana Whitlock.
Hello,
and we're going to be interviewing her about FFA.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alana Whitlock. I am in the fun position this time. I'm a senior at Lindhurst High School, and this is my 4th year in FFA, and I'm super excited to be talking to Miss Ella.
Okay, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's get started. So, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or should I say the dog in the room?
I think elephant's accurate.
So, who are we with today?
This is Miss Topanga. Topanga is a service dog in training. And fun fact, if anyone didn't know, this is a major part of FFA, especially at my school. I am so fortunate to be partnered with a teacher who works with FFA students, and this is additional SAE for me. I'm very fortunate for that. And yes.
Can you define SAE for us, please?
SAE is an acronym. It stands for Supervised Agricultural Experience. And for really just what that means, it's not as difficult as it sounds. All that an SAE is a project that you keep record of. It can go anywhere from teaching little kids how to ride a horse all the way to showing cattle at the Yuba Sutter Fair. There is, the possibilities are really endless when it comes to SAEs. This right here, starting a podcast about agricultural education, is an SAE itself. So as you can see, it's really anything and everything.
That's so great. What is one thing that you were very shocked to learn about FFA when you first started?
Honestly, the first time I ever heard about FFA was when I was really, really little, and I didn't know what FFA was at all. I know now that it means Future Farmers of America, which is what I strive to be. But I heard about it from my sister, and I actually did not grow up in an agriculture-based family at all. I definitely know that my grandparents at some point were super involved. They actually had a dairy farm. Didn't know that until I was 15. But I first heard about it from my sister, and I switched from Marysville Charter to Lindhurst because I wanted to be an active member in FFA. And the most surprising thing, there's so many. I know we've touched a little bit about how many fun activities there are after competitions. Competitions themselves were such a surprise for me. I never heard anything about that. I honestly just thought it was raising animals. I didn't even know about fair. I just thought that you had a pet cow on school campus. I didn't even know. So really, every aspect of FFA was surprising to me. I think I surprised myself most when I first applied to be an FFA officer my sophomore year. And since then, it's just been one amazing opportunity and experience after another.
That is so inspiring. What is your position right now as an officer for our Lindhurst chapter?
So currently, I am serving as the Lindhurst FFA treasurer. Totally blanked there for a second. The Lindhurst FFA treasurer. My junior year, I served as the sentinel, and my sophomore year, I served as vice president. So I've kind of been around the block when it comes to positions.
That is really cool. So how do you get to do a service dog as an SAE? Because that is so unique to me.
It really is. Raising service animals is a really unique opportunity. I cannot name another school in our area who does this, and I work alongside a science teacher at my school, Miss Kelly. Shout out to Miss Kelly. And she partners with FFA members. She tries to stick with juniors because that's just the way the process works out, is the beginning of your junior year. She partners with juniors and FFA so they have an additional project to take into their senior year. And honestly, all you have to do for her to hear about your name is just be a good kid. And if you're an FFA, you are already a good kid. When people hear that you're in those types of extracurriculars, they just assume that you have things going for you, because you do. FFA members they have experience with leadership, manners. I know Deasia earlier had said etiquette in general. Yes. But if you don't have the opportunity to work with Miss Kelly, because as I said, she only chooses one junior a year, it's actually closer to once every 2 years. Oh. Awkward timing. You can also raise yourself. I personally raise through Canine Companions, but there's plenty of opportunities and they love volunteers. It looks really good on FFA applications like your American degree, your state degree. It gives you hours for projects, and you can count some of the hours you use for training your animal as community service, which we all know is a super major part in FFA.
Yes.
I should say that surprised me as well. I did not know community service had anything to do with FFA.
I totally agree with that. Community service, to earn your degrees, that's a major part of it. And speaking of degrees, I've noticed below your name you have a little pin. Could you please tell us what that is?
So I'm a senior, but this is my chapter degree. So the way that degrees work, for anyone who doesn't know, is each year you progress, and if you have the right qualifications for these, I'll call it a certificate, you are awarded with a certificate and also a pin. The rules for the pins are only one on your jacket at a time. This is my 4th year in FFA, so this year I will be completing my state degree. Mr. Bisbee has been very on top of us with degrees before. Gosh, that's another surprising thing for me. I had no idea what degrees were. I didn't have any idea of how to keep track of them. Anything like that. So before the chapter degree is green hand, after the chapter degree is state, and then after that is the American, the golden American degree, which everybody strives for, and I know all of the people here are going to get them.
That is really cool. Oh my gosh. I could totally see you with your little gold chain with your American degree.
It's what everybody strives for.
Showing up at national convention speaking.
Oh, yeah.
That's
the ultimate goal.
Lana running for president, y'all.
Who's going to vote for me?
So after high school, do you plan on keeping in touch with any FFA friends that you've met?
Absolutely. FFA has got me completely out of my shell. It has given me so many opportunities to meet not only people at my own school and my own chapter, but members from all over California and also the United States. I was so fortunate to go to national convention and make plenty of friends. And I have actually met some of my very closest friends through FFA. It's amazing because that's just one more thing you have in common with someone, you know? Like, without FFA, I don't know if I ever would have talked to you or Deasia because I don't have classes with you guys. But FFA is the reason why I'm able to get in contact and hopefully stay in contact, like you said, after high school. It really is a dream, especially for anyone looking to go into agricultural education. I would love to have other teacher friends who came from my own chapter.
That would be so cool. Y'all could go for like a little brunch. Yeah. Do you plan on using your agricultural experience in your future with your career and job?
Absolutely. The dream is to... Oh my gosh, there's so many dreams actually. It doesn't really matter what field I go into. I know I want to work with livestock, and I would love the opportunity to be able to start my own, I don't even know what to call it. I would like to raise show hogs and sell them for an affordable price. I want to produce quality animals for kids who don't have, $1,500 to rip out of their pocket and put down on a show pig. I want to, and this is thanks to my school, I want to be able to provide for the students who maybe are not as fortunate as people at other schools. That's really what I want to do. I want to give back to the ag community.
That is so inspiring. I love that about you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is so great. You could have a little pig operation.
I know, a little operation farm. I didn't even know what to call it.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I would love that. I would love to visit.
Oh, you totally could. Pigs are my passion. I think that they should be everybody's passion, especially the lamb people.
I don't know about that.
Once you go swine, you can't go back to anything else. It's life-changing.
So have you taken, you mentioned that you love pigs and swine. Have you ever brought them to fair?
Absolutely. So my freshman year was the first experience I think I ever had with a large animal. And I remember looking back on notes in my phone the other day. He was actually the largest hog I've ever taken at fair. Wow. He came in at 263 pounds. Never would have known that. Thank goodness I keep some records. And the next year, I actually took a lamb.
Oh.
Most people wouldn't expect that. I actually love lambs a lot. I just do not like the showing process. But I love lambs with my whole heart. And then last year and this year, last year I took a hog to fair, and I am taking a hog this year to fair as well. And in between, I have raised 2 meat hogs. I started to raise two 2 meat hogs. I started to raise a third, and I actually sold her. And I actually was striving to get a proficiency in swine breeding and swine production. And a huge part of FFA is failing. Don't be afraid to fail. And my little story is just that I started this operation. I put a lot of time and energy and love and especially money into it, and it didn't work out. And then on the day that she became a slaughter hog and not a breeding sow, I was actually told that somebody else would have bought her had they known before. So that was a huge life lesson, and I want you to know, especially as a freshman, you want to fail in FFA. That is how you learn, and I wish I would have learned this sooner. So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to do bad, because that is how you learn. That's how you grow. Take note of that. Do not be afraid to fail.
Thank you. Yes, that's a very important lesson, and I'll have to keep that in mind because sometimes the stress gets to me.
Yeah, cry it out. Cry it out and just know that next time it'll be better. But cry for sure.
Yeah, well, that sounds so fun.
It was.
What was the most interesting what was the most interesting SAE project that you've done?
I would say the most interesting that I've done, I think Topanga would be top of the list because obviously not a lot of people know about that at all.
Yeah.
Because she seems like a pet. You would think that, but would I raise her for? She's not. And a very close second would actually be raising meat hogs for my own family.
Oh.
A lot of people think it's demented and it's harsh and it's cruel, but I want to go into ag education to educate people about where their food comes from, and a major part of that is swine production. I won't go too far into it, but I do not like how the swine industry looks right now, and I want to change that. So yeah, I would say raising my own meat hogs is super interesting just because of the way that other people see it. I see it as these hogs were raised with love and respect and a purpose, and everybody else thinks that I'm like, oh my gosh, you're eating your pet. So that's always crazy to me. I never thought it was a big deal until people thought that I was like crazy and cruel for it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that perspective of it because the hog industry, the meat industry is very important in America. Like and people can be really cruel to animals, but if you care for them and love them, and like you said, raising them for a purpose, it's gave them a good life.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lana, so much for sharing with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you guys for watching.